The gift of discernment is not merely a faculty of the mind, nor a skill honed by human effort, but a grace bestowed by the Holy Spirit, a divine illumination that penetrates the veil between the temporal and the eternal. It is the clarity that allows a soul to perceive the will of God amidst the shadows of the world, the sacred intuition that discerns truth from deception, light from darkness. It is the whisper of the Almighty within, guiding the heart toward the path of righteousness. How does one know if they have received this gift? It is not found in the cleverness of intellect or in the ability to weigh human arguments. Rather, it is a spiritual sensitivity, a faculty of the soul that perceives what the eyes cannot see. It is an interior light that reveals what is hidden, making known the secret designs of the Lord. This gift is not reserved for prophets alone, nor for the cloistered in monastic silence, but is given to all who seek God with sincerity and longing. Let us journey together through the 7 signs of this gift, walking in the illumination of the Holy Spirit. May our hearts be open, our spirits receptive, and our souls docile to the divine whisper that calls us deeper into the mystery of God's will. As you read, listen not only with your mind but with your heart, for the voice of God is often heard in the stillness of our being. Sign 1. A deep, unshakable peace in decision-making. When the soul stands at the threshold of great choices, when the weight of a decision presses upon the heart, it is then that the presence of divine peace manifests. This peace is not of the world, nor is it the mere absence of conflict. It is the peace that Christ himself promised, the peace that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4:7. It is not rooted in favorable circumstances or human reassurances, but in the quiet certainty that one is walking within the will of God. This peace is the seal of the Holy Spirit upon the soul. It does not waver in the face of uncertainty, nor does it crumble under the weight of fear. It is an immovable fortress, a stillness within that no storm can disturb. When the world clamors with its anxieties and contradictions, this peace remains untouched, for it is not of human origin, but a divine gift. It is the voice of God assuring the soul, "Fear not, for I am with you." Isaiah 41:10. Many seek confirmation in signs, in external reassurances, in the validation of others. But those who possess the gift of discernment know that true confirmation is found in the tranquility of a heart aligned with the will of the Almighty. Padre Pio once said, "Pray, hope, and don't worry. Worry is useless. God is merciful and will hear your prayer." This is the essence of discernment, not an endless struggle for certainty, but a surrender into divine peace, a trust that God leads those who trust in Him. When you stand at the crossroads of life, when decisions weigh upon your spirit, seek not the fleeting assurances of the world. Instead, enter into silence, place your heart in the hands of God, and listen. If peace descends, if a deep and quiet assurance fills your soul, know that you are being led by the hand of the divine. It is not human wisdom that will guide you, but the still, small voice of God, speaking through the peace that anchors your heart in Him. Sign 2. The ability to see beyond surface appearances. The world is filled with illusions, veils that conceal reality, facades that deceive even the wise. But to those whom the Spirit grants discernment, a deeper vision is given. A vision not bound by the limitations of human sight, but enlightened by the divine light. To discern is to see as God sees, to look beyond the outward form and perceive the true essence of things. It is a grace that unveils the hidden intentions of hearts, that distinguishes truth from falsehood, sincerity from pretense, virtue from the mere appearance of righteousness. When one possesses this gift, they are not easily swayed by flattering words or external appearances. They perceive with an inner knowing, a divine intuition that discerns the true nature of a thing, a person, or a situation. The prophet Jeremiah spoke of the Lord who searches the heart and tests the mind. Jeremiah 17:10. The gift of discernment grants the soul a glimpse into this divine knowledge. It is not given for judgment nor for condemnation, but for wisdom, that one may walk in truth and avoid the snares of deception. It is not a gift that exalts the one who receives it but humbles them, for it reveals the depths of human frailty and the necessity of divine grace. Padre Pio, who read the souls of men, did not do so out of human ability, but because he lived in constant communion with God. He knew that the eyes of the body can be deceived, but the eyes of the spirit, if illuminated by grace, perceive the reality hidden beneath. He once said, "God is served only when he is served, as he wishes to be served." To serve God rightly, one must discern rightly, not through personal preference but through divine wisdom. When you walk through life, do not be quick to trust appearances. Pray for the grace to see with the eyes of the Holy Spirit. When something unsettles your spirit, when an unease stirs within, listen. It may be the whisper of God, warning you, guiding you, calling you to see beyond what is merely visible. And when peace floods your soul at the recognition of truth, embrace it. For it is God confirming his presence in your discernment. The gift of discernment is not given for the sake of pride, nor to elevate oneself above others, but to lead the soul deeper into communion with God. It is a gift of humility, a constant reminder that without his light we would stumble in darkness. If you find this gift awakening within you, do not fear it, but cherish it. It is a sacred invitation to walk with God, to see as he sees, and to love as he loves. It is a gift that brings you ever closer to the heart of the divine, where all truth is revealed and all wisdom is found. Sign 3. A heightened sensitivity to spiritual conflict. In the realm unseen by human eyes, there is a battle more real than anything that can be touched or measured. It is the war between light and darkness, between the forces of God and the legions of the enemy. This war is not waged with the weapons of men, nor is it confined to distant theological debates. It is present in every thought, in every encounter, in the very fabric of our souls. And to those who are given the gift of discernment, this battle is not hidden. It is felt, known, and at times deeply burdensome. This heightened awareness is not paranoia, nor is it a cause for fear. It is a divine calling, an awakening that allows one to perceive the spiritual forces at work in the world. Some may walk into a room and notice only what is seen, the walls, the furniture, the faces. But the one who discerns perceives more. They sense the presence of the holy or the encroachment of darkness. They feel the weight of oppression in places where sin has been enthroned, and they rejoice in the undeniable peace where God's presence reigns. It may come suddenly, without warning. A conversation may seem ordinary to all who hear it, yet the discerning soul detects a hidden intention, an unseen hand at work, whether for good or for ill. It may be in a moment of prayer, where the atmosphere shifts, where the air itself seems charged with spiritual tension. It may be in a seemingly innocent decision, where beneath the surface a battle is raging for the direction of a soul. This gift is not given to terrify but to equip. It is not a burden to crush the spirit, but a grace to strengthen it. Padre Pio, a man of extraordinary discernment, often said, "The devil is like a mad dog tied by a chain. Beyond the length of the chain he cannot seize anyone. And you keep your distance. If you approach too near, you let yourself be caught." This is the heart of discernment. To recognize when darkness lurks near, to stand firm, and to draw closer to God, rather than be drawn into the enemy's illusions. The Apostle Paul, in Ephesians 6:10-18, exhorts us to put on the full armor of God. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil. For those with this gift, these words are not mere poetry, they are lived reality. The discerning soul feels the weight of battle in prayer, where words are not mere sounds, but weapons against the darkness. They know what it means to wrestle in the Spirit, to intercede for those unaware of the forces that seek to ensnare them. But discernment is not only about recognizing evil, it is also about recognizing the movement of God. The one who sees spiritually does not only detect deception, but also perceives grace. They sense when a soul is near to conversion, when a heart is being softened, when the Spirit of God is at work. They understand that the battle is not only about resisting the enemy, but about advancing the kingdom. C.S. Lewis, in the Screwtape Letters, illustrated this battle well. How the enemy does not always attack with great calamities, but through subtle deceptions, through small compromises that lead the soul astray. The discerning heart recognizes these tactics. It is not fooled by mere appearances, nor is it content with superficial peace. It seeks the truth beneath the surface, always watching, always praying. To possess this gift is to be called into the fray, not as a fearful bystander, but as a warrior, as one who stands firm in faith, clothed in the armor of God. Do not be afraid of this calling. Do not resist it, even when the weight of awareness feels overwhelming. For if God has opened your eyes to the battle, He has also equipped you to stand victorious. You do not fight alone. You fight with Him who has already conquered. Sign 4. A strong, unmistakable urge to pray for others. There comes a moment, unexpected, unbidden, when the soul is seized with an overwhelming urge to pray. It may be in the stillness of night, when a name rises unprovoked to the heart. It may be in the middle of the day, when a face flashes across the mind, and suddenly prayer is the only response that feels right. This is not human sentimentality, nor is it a mere act of kindness. It is the Spirit of God, moving, prompting, calling one to intercede. To pray for another is to stand in the breach, to plead before the throne of grace, on behalf of a soul who may not even know they are in need. This call to prayer is not always accompanied by an explanation. The discerning heart is often moved without knowing why, yet the burden is heavy, undeniable, and will not let go until the prayer has been lifted. This is intercession, not simply speaking words, but engaging in the unseen battle for the soul of another. It is a participation in the work of God, a cooperation with His divine will. And often those who intercede will later learn that their prayer was needed at that exact moment, that they were in truth standing between life and death, between hope and despair, between grace and destruction. Padre Pio once said, "Prayer is the oxygen of the soul." Indeed, to be called to pray is to be given the breath of the divine, to breathe out intercession that another may receive grace. It is not an obligation, it is a privilege. To be awakened in the night by the Spirit's call is to be trusted with the concerns of heaven. It is to be given a role in the unfolding of God's plan. James 5:16 tells us, "Pray for one another, that you may be healed." The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. The one who is given discernment understands this truth in the depths of their being. Prayer is not passive. It is the force that moves mountains, that shifts the course of history, that rescues souls from the brink. T.C. Lewis, in Letters to Malcolm, described prayer as an act that aligns the will of man with the will of God. To be called to intercede is to enter into that divine alignment, to be an instrument through which heaven touches earth. This is why the urge to pray cannot be ignored. It is not a suggestion, it is a summons. And as you respond to this call, you will see God move. Sometimes you will witness immediate transformation, healing, deliverance, a change in circumstances. Other times, the answers will remain hidden, and you will be asked to trust. Yet know this, no prayer is wasted. Every intercession is heard. Every plea is counted. Every whisper before the throne of God echoes in eternity. So, if you feel this urge to pray, do not delay. Do not reason it away. Do not dismiss it as a passing thought. Bow your head. Lift your heart. Pray. For you do not know what battle is being fought in that moment, nor what soul is in desperate need of grace. But God knows, and He has chosen you to stand in the gap. Embrace the gift of intercession. It is not a burden, it is a calling. It is not a task, It is an honor. And through it, you will see the power of God at work, not only in the lives of those for whom you pray, but in your own heart as well. Sign 5. The recognition of God's timing. There is a sacred rhythm woven into creation, a divine order that governs time itself. The discerning soul moves in harmony with this rhythm, knowing that nothing is random. Every delay, every encounter, every opportunity unfolds according to God's perfect will. To grasp this truth is to be freed from impatience and fear. No longer do you force doors open before their time, nor do you hesitate when the Spirit calls you forward. You wait with trust, act with confidence, and walk in step with divine purpose. This gift transforms how you live. You cease striving, no longer ruled by human urgency, but by God's orchestration. And when His appointed moment comes, you will know. Doors will open, the Spirit will stir, and providence will be undeniable. The world calls it coincidence. The one who discerns knows it is the hand of God. There is a time for everything. Ecclesiastes 3:1. The seasons of waiting are not wasted, they are preparation. Closed doors are not rejection, they are redirection. What once seemed like delay is revealed as divine timing. So, if you sense the Spirit urging you, move. If He calls you to wait, trust. For when you abide in His timing, you will never be too early nor too late. You will be exactly where He intends you to be. Sign 6. A distinct awareness of good and evil in the world. To discern is not merely to perceive truth, it is to see the battle between light and darkness, the spiritual war waged beneath the surface of life. The veil is lifted, and the world is no longer neutral. Every moment, every choice, every encounter carries unseen consequences. This is not learned through intellect, but revealed by the Spirit. You perceive deception where others see charm. You sense heaviness in a room long before words are spoken. You are stirred to pray without knowing why, compelled to speak when silence would be easier. With this gift comes responsibility. You cannot ignore what you now see. Evil must be resisted, truth must be spoken, intercession must be made. Yet, fear has no place here, for the one who grants discernment also grants strength. The devil does not dare approach a soul that is united to God. Padre Pio. It is overwhelming at times to see darkness where others remain blind. But take heart, the light is greater. Every deception you uncover reveals the triumph of truth. Every shadow you perceive only magnifies the radiance of Christ. C.S. Lewis wrote in the Screwtape Letters that evil advances not by great horrors, but by subtle compromises. The discerning heart is not deceived. It is anchored in truth, unmoved by appearances, unwavering in the face of falsehood. So, stand firm. Be watchful, but do not fear. Let the Spirit sharpen your sight, that you may walk in wisdom, resist deception, and live as a beacon of God's unshakable light. Sign 7. A persistent sense of God's presence. Above all signs of discernment, this one reigns supreme, the unshakable awareness of God's presence. It is not fleeting inspiration, nor an emotion stirred by circumstance, but a deep abiding reality. The soul that possesses this gift walks not in abstract belief, but in living communion with the Almighty. This is not knowledge acquired, but presence encountered. It is the certainty that, whether in silence or storm, in joy or sorrow, He is here. The veil between heaven and earth grows thin. His voice whispers in the stillness. His guidance resounds in the depths, and His nearness is as real as the breath in your lungs. Christ promised, "I am with you always." Matthew 28:20. This is not mere comfort. It is a call to confidence. To live in the presence of God is to know that no valley is too dark, no suffering too great, no trial too heavy. It is not the removal of hardship, but the awareness that even in hardship, you are never alone. The discerning heart sees every moment as sacred, every breath as grace, every encounter as divine orchestration. This awareness shifts everything. Fear loses its grip, anxiety fades, and the soul finds its true home. C.S. Lewis wrote, "The real problem of the Christian life comes where people do not know they are in a battle, but those who walk in God's presence know this battle well, and they know their strength is found in Him." David, who lived in this presence, declared, "In your presence there is fullness of joy." Psalm 16:11. This is the essence of discernment, not just perceiving truth, but walking with the one who is truth. So, my friend, seek His presence. Let not the world's noise drown His whispers. Know that discernment is not just about recognizing His will, it is about recognizing Him. For the greatest gift is not knowledge, nor wisdom, nor even vision. The greatest gift is Himself. A call to embrace the gift of discernment. Discernment is not merely a skill, it is an invitation, a divine beckoning to walk in step with God, to hear His voice, to perceive His hand at work in all things. It is not given to the self-sufficient, but to the seeking, not to the powerful, but to the humble. If you recognize these signs in your life, know that it is not by your own effort, but by the Spirit at work within you. For those who feel distant, uncertain, do not fear. God does not withhold wisdom from those who ask. The Holy Spirit is ready to guide, to sharpen, to illuminate. As you seek, you will find. As you knock, the door will open. So embrace this gift. Pursue it. Let the Spirit refine your vision, deepen your faith, and draw you ever closer to the heart of God. Walk boldly, for discernment is not just a gift, it is a call to wisdom, to clarity, to peace, a call to be a light in darkness, a voice of truth, a witness to the presence of God. And as you walk this path, may you come to see not only with your eyes, but with your spirit, knowing that all things are bathed in the light of His presence, unfolding in His perfect time, held securely in His sovereign hands. For to discern is not simply to see, it is to know Him. And in knowing Him you will find that there is nothing more certain, nothing more beautiful, and nothing more precious than the presence of God Himself.